That's always a noise.
The Warner girl and the Warner boys.
They're gathered around in the village square.
They say there's something way out there.
What's up, Docs and Docettes? Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes critic here, and this video is probably going to be a one-of-a-kind. Not that my videos are repetitive, or even repetitive. But as for types of videos, the Looney Tunes critic stuff is limited to about 4 or 5 different things. It's mainly commentaries and reviews. But today, it's a reaction video. So for Christmas this year, I'm reacting to Wakko's Wish. Wakko's Wish is a straight-to-video Animaniacs Christmas special, which isn't about Christmas, but it may as well be. It's sentimental, a musical, there's pathos, snow, and what's more, it was released 4 days before Christmas, so yeah, it's a Christmas special. And one that, until today, I'd never seen. And that's why this is probably going to be a one-time thing. Because in order for a reaction video to qualify as a reaction video, the person reacting can't have seen the thing that they're watching because, well, then you're not reacting, you're watching. So, and while we all know or have an inner voyeur who just likes to watch, that's not the kind of video you want me to make. Trust me. So, you probably won't see any other Looney Tunes critic reaction videos beyond this one, and that's because, quite frankly, there probably isn't anything Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes related that I haven't seen. I mean, this is probably it. So, if you don't like it, don't worry. It's pretty much already over. So let's mosey on over to the couch and you can join me in watching Wakko's Wish. Well, edited highlights of me watching Wakko's Wish anyway. After all, brevity is the soul of wit and all that. Alright, well, I got the movie all loaded up here on the laptop, so let's get into this. But I am an actual fan of Animaniacs, so I'm eager to see how this goes. Oh, that's cute. Gotta say that's that's clever. I don't like that font, but that animation at the beginning with bugs, it's pretty cool. And Wakko. Yay! The holy triumvirate. I shouldn't try to sound smart. Hey, Orson Welles reference, which probably means we'll hear Maurice LaMarche do Orson. No?
Hey, what do you want from us? We're freezing here.
Yep. There it is. I almost thought for a second they weren't going to do it, but they did.
Now this village was part of a peace-loving, picturesque little country called Warnerstock, which was ruled by a benevolent king.
Hey man, if you were really at Warnerstock, you weren't really at Warnerstock. You know what I'm saying, man? That looks, that's the first shot I've really noticed that definitely reads as digital coloring. This was one of the. This is probably one of the only times I've ever knowingly noticed an Animaniacs animation that was digitally painted. But yeah, it definitely looks digitally. It looks like early digital is what it looks like, really, which it would have been. It being, I'm guessing, late '90s, early 2000s. Frank Welker's great in everything he does. He's both of those characters. He's Plots and he's the guard. And that guy too. So far these last 3 characters have all been Frank Welker. You know, I seldom agree with Watch Mojo lists. And, you know, when they got to the I watched a Watch Mojo list of cartoon voice actors, the greatest cartoon voice actors, and I thought for sure Mel Blanc was going to get the top #1, and he got second, and I was like, if Mel Blanc is getting second, who the is getting first place? And then I go, whoever it is, they better be amazing. And then they did a couple of those honor roll mentions that they do, and then it went to Frank Welker, and I just was like, you know what? Yes, that's probably the only guy who could take the title of best voice actor from Mel Blanc. It's Frank Welker.
But here I sit, watching Tinky make ice sculptures out of spit.
Ooh. Oh dear, yeah. Hey, it's the Dover Boys. But it would certainly appear that Tom Ruger's son, who voices Slappy, I forget his name, got a little older. This is probably the last thing he did as Slappy, or close to it, I'd imagine. This was never on the show. This was I believe this was a direct-to-video. But something tells me that there are probably commercial breaks in here. Spots for commercial breaks. Okay, so why is she sick again? I don't... Did they really establish why she was sick, or was that, was I just rambling over the part where they explain her vague sickery? Yay, they brought back Farfig Newton. Just for you younger audience members out there, in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, there was a car, a German car, and it's probably still around, but its commercials were very popular in America. It was called the Farfig Newton. So Farfig Newton, is a reference to those cars and to those commercials. I look there. Hey! He's copying his gestures. I wonder if that's a reference. I doubt that it is, but I wonder if that's a reference to King of Comedy. There's a shot where Robert De Niro is on a date, and he's at the table, and he's gesturing, and the guy, on the table directly behind him completely copies his gestures. Turns out that guy was De Niro's friend, and he got put in the shot, and he was deliberately doing it. They didn't delete it, but I don't think that's what they were doing here. Half penny. Yeah, that's something. That's a curious thing about hay pennies. They're called hay pennies because when such a time existed that you could actually have a, are they singing about the hay penny? Anyway, hay pennies were, when there was a time that currency could be so low as to be not a cent, but a half a cent. Hay penny, it was called a hay penny because saying hay penny is somehow faster and quicker than saying half penny. Actually, I'm sorry, I think it's half a penny. So that is quicker. Half a penny. Oh, the poor mime. People say that, cartoons are racist because of the white gloves and everything, and I think it's even more obvious it's racist because of the white face in the case of that mime. I personally, speaking personally as a clown, I take offense to that. It's kind of cheating just to get, oh, look at that. CG shot. That's so interesting that they did a shot like that. They spent the money to do a CG shot that doesn't really need to be done. It's not an effect. It's not, it's special effects sequence, and it doesn't really advance anything. It's just done to kind of add mood, which is impressive.
But you can call me Dot. And they'd say, can we call you Dottie? And you'd say, no, just Dot. Call me Dottie and me die.
Pinky. I want to know what's going on with the Dover boys. Why are the Dover boys in this? I'm not against it at all, but you know, I hope they don't really explain that, because I kind of like that they're just there. Aww. Is that what this whole thing is? Is just a vehicle to shit on mimes? If so, then I gotta say, man, why not? I like that they don't define. Might be the most progressive thing ever. They never define what sex the horse is that Pinky is in love with, if it's a boy or a girl. I like that those blast screens, I guess that's what you can call them. Those shots of the hit impact. You know, they're obviously new, but they look like the old ones, the old Looney Tunes ones. Ooh, that is as close. That is as close as TV animation budgets are ever going to come to Pinocchio right there. I will say, you know, a good formula is a good formula, but it does need to be said that it's been done before, and certainly when this came out, I remember when Animaniacs was on and Mindy and Buttons cartoons would come on. It did remind me, ooh, puberty is not good for you, boy, for Skippy. Mindy and Buttons does remind me, and did remind me a lot of Roger and Roger Rabbit and Baby Herman, and right down to the fact that you never see the mom, you never see her face. 2, 3. Okay, I mean, it's starting to lose me now, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, you know, it just, at the end of the day, the business model for Looney Tunes characters are that they're short subjects, and their cartoon logic, which is that it's the cartoon logic set up by people like Tex Avery, which is and you know, later developed by Friz Freleng and Chuck Jones, which is that you can have characters, you can have deep, meaningful characters and relationships and stuff that we believe in, but ultimately they only do things to serve the needs of the joke for the cartoon. So it's kind of hard to create scenarios with these characters where they all are together and caring, and where you actually believe that the characters need, you know, have the needs and wants that we're expected to, you know, just go along with, you know. Like this king needs a wish. I don't know really why he needs a wish. You can't force Farfignugan scratch and sniff. Oh, you are in the wrong spot to be right now. Scratch and sniff. See? That's where Pinky wants to be. Let's be honest. Avalanche. Oh no, Doc, there's an avalanche. The combination. Oh, is that the wishing star? See, now they're drawn a little bit differently, so it's weird. They're drawn a little differently there, but I don't know if that's necessarily what the reason for that sometimes is, which is that on the show different cartoons were done at different studios. This looks like it's done at TMS. Toho movie Shinju or Shinji or however it's pronounced.
All hail the mighty King Salazar!
And that character is he's a caricature of let's see, if you've ever seen Apocalypse Now, Dennis Hopper played a character a lot like him who I think we're coughing in his face. But he played a character who took Martin Sheen he brought him to Marlon Brando. She asked him for olives or something, was that? That's funny, Nikki. I like when they just, the indignancy of somebody who takes themselves too seriously. That's, at this age, when, you're age appropriate for this, like 14 years old, it's the equivalent of like, Mad Magazine for a kid in the late 50s to the late 70s. There's something, even though I don't know how long ago Mad was around, but it's something that is just there to remind you that it's okay to have like a tasteful amount of disdain for authority, I don't know. I really hope they don't answer the question of the Warner brothers and sister, their parents. I hope they don't explain that. But they probably are going to And why is this a thing, like in the third act of so many specials where characters get, they go through a roller coaster of their own personal demons or something? What is that originally a thing from? That's got to be a trope. Paul Rugg as Jerry Lewis. By the way, that's for some of the younger crowd. If you don't know, that's who that character is. It's a Jerry Lewis, and that's, I don't know who that is.
It's not what you wish for, it's how you wish. Oh yeah, you have to be careful. Things are getting so.
See, this animation is really good. I mean, this is all you can really ask for of funny character animation that's supposed to be in the vein of the classic cartoons. I mean, it's not as good as the classic cartoons, but it is worthy of them. Because it's not just what's being said, and it's not just the way the voice actors perform it, and it's not just the way that it's drawn, and it's not just the music, and it's not just the color. It's all that. It's everything. And a large debt of gratitude should go to people like Steven Spielberg, because for all of those things to be checked off as done for for TV budgets, for TV animation, is amazing. And we've gotten very $1 million. I didn't see that coming, and neither did he. Are we actually doing the pathos thing now with Dot here? So yeah, we're gonna lay on thick the emotion here, and this is the kind of stuff that I don't know that it always works, because...
What? The story about Mom and Dad. Tell me one last time. You should rest.
Because you see, the thing is that
Once upon a time, a brave knight married a beautiful princess. And they had 2 sons. But they wanted a daughter, too. So they planted a garden. And out of the prettiest flower came... me.
all this stuff is...
So Mom and Dad took you home,
And every night at bedtime, they'd come in and say, "Who's the cutest girl?" And you'd say, "I am." And they'd ask, "How'd you ever get so cute?" And you'd say, "I was born that way." And they'd say, "Tell us your name." And you'd say, "Princess Angelina Contessa Louisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobeska III. But you can call me Dot." And they'd ask, "Can we call you Dottie?" And you'd say, "No, just Dot. Call me Dottie and you die."
She's dead. And it's your fault, man.
All right. It is sad.
Impossibly cute one, and now she's gone. Killed her, man. Wrong.
I mean, what do you want? It's Spielberg. See, what's going on with Rita and Runt? They're...
They found a happy home with Dr. Scratches.
Oh, well, that's great, I guess. But they didn't get to do anything, and you wasted Bernadette Peters because you didn't have a number with Bernadette Peters. But
Was finally appreciated for her figuring and not just her figure. Baron von Plotz achieved his wish.
they've used that drawing a couple times. I think that's from the model sheet, I bet you. That shot of Plots. Because they almost never draw him with the bags, the extra circle around his eye.
You want fries? And Ralph, who ultimately wanted to direct, got his wish too.
Ralph.
Traffic in the village of Acme Falls.
Something about Ralph. Oh, that voice.
It's my dream come true.
That back of the throat, the voice. You know, whenever
Even the pigeons who
Frank Welker would do it, you know, it would always be cemented in my head as being Ralph. Even stuff that he did before Animaniacs. When I would hear that, you know, after Animaniacs, it was always Ralph.
the hospital tracked down their birth certificate, which proved the Warners to be of royal heritage.
Oh, so they're gonna show their parents. See, god damn it.
Warner stock, making Yakko Wacko
They don't need parents. It's not, because then it's like, well, where were you the whole time and our whole life? And
never expected to see him again.
they don't need parents, you know? We never saw Bugs Bunny's parents unless it was funny for a cartoon, but I guess that's what this is, but... Aw, that would have been great if they ended right there. With the pinky and that. Man, why does the mime gotta take so much crap, man? I guess because it's, you know, that racist whiteface stuff. See, it's the same joke twice. That's what I do. I love that guy's 30s eyes. And the Sound of Music, Julie Andrews' character is in there too. I didn't notice that before. Oh, good. Thank God the real Wheel of Morality's here because I am ready for them to wrap this thing up. Let's hear what the morality.
Moral of our story is...
What is it? Never give up hope. That's why we devoted an hour and 20 minutes to this. It's a great message, I guess. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, voice talents of Rob Paulson as Yakko. And that's cool that they're actually getting face credit, credits. And yeah, they don't come a long way from the days of Mel Blanc and voice actors not getting credit. Maurice LaMarche is the brain. Sherry Stoner, lovely in many ways. I don't know if she can sing though. Frank Welker. It's the first. Is that the first mention of Frank Welker? Certainly won't be the last. There you go. I got 2 Frank Welkers for the price of 1. Let's see if it says here if I was right about. I'm pretty sure this is TMS, the studio that did this animation. But I want to say it is, but I'm a little thrown off by the digital paint. Let's see. No. Production coordinators, no. I don't know any of this. Oh, TMS. There you go. TMS. That's TMS Toho Movie Studio, or Toho Movie Shinji, I think what it is. By the way, I apologize for the noise of the lawnmower out there, but they did the best animation for all of the WB shows ever. All of them. Digital ink and paint. See, there you go. They did all the best stuff. They did the intro for Tiny Toon Adventures, and they animated all of How I Spent My Summer Vacation, the intro for Animaniacs, the intro for Pinky and the Brain, Tasmania, probably. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, happy holidays again, and I want to thank you for watching this, my first and probably only reaction video. My reaction is that it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay.